Hello there, and welcome to Her Money Mindset, the podcast where we talk about all things money, mindset, and how our relationship with finances shapes our lives. I'm Courtney, and I am so excited to have you here. This podcast is for women who want to take control of their financial futures, transform the way they think about money, and finally break free from any limiting beliefs or fears surrounding their finances. Whether you're just starting out on your money journey, you're looking to build wealth, or you want to get clear on your financial goals, this show is for you. Here on Her Money Mindset, we're diving deep into topics like budgeting, saving, investing, and everything in between. But we're not just talking numbers and strategies. We're digging into the real reasons why so many of us struggle with money in the first place. Our mindset around money plays a huge role in how we handle it, and it's about time we got real with it. I'll be sharing tips and tools to help you feel more confident in your financial decisions, but we'll also be exploring how your personal history, upbringing, and past experiences with money can influence how you manage it today. It's time to heal that relationship with money and make it work for you. So, if you are ready to shift your mindset, build the life you deserve, and start making your money work for you, then you're in the right place. I cannot wait to take this journey with you. Now, before we jump in, let's go over some basics. If you are finally ready to make a difference in your financial life, but you want something self-paced, check out my Budgeting Basics bundle. This is my digital pack filled with the exact tools I use to stop living paycheck to paycheck and start feeling confident with my finances. Inside, you'll get my signature budgeting template, a debt payoff tracker, savings challenges, and my favorite part, a 2-week budget bootcamp to help you get back on track and fast. So if you're ready for a fresh start with your money without the overwhelm, this bundle is exactly where I would have you begin. You can grab it now using the link in the show notes, or you can grab it from the link in the bio of any of my socials. And make sure that you use the code HMM podcast for 15% off. This is a podcast exclusive discount code, so make sure you take advantage of that. Now, if you know that you want help with your money and your money habits, but you want something faster than self-paced work, personalized, and someone to directly hold you accountable, sign up for private one-on-one coaching with me. I'll have the link in the show notes for you. You can either do a one-time one-on-one strategy call to answer your budgeting basics, get your budget set up, and get you on your way, or you can do my 12-week private coaching program, Her Money Method, for more accountability, structure, and motivation. Make sure you sign up today for your free consultation call with the link in the show notes. Also, please leave a review of the podcast. This is a really great way to tell me and others that you enjoy this podcast, and it goes a really long way for me. Now, let's dive into today's episode. The 3 numbers every woman should know: income, expenses, and true cash flow. Whether you make $2,000 a month or $10,000 a month, there are 3 numbers that every woman needs to know to feel confident with her money. And that is your income, your expenses, and your true cash flow. And yes, I will break it down in simple language, because when you understand these numbers, everything else, your budget, your savings goals, your debt payoff plan, starts to actually work. So grab a coffee, go on your hot girl walk, open up your notes app or your planner, whatever you need to do, and let's talk about the 3 numbers that will completely change the way you see your money. Oh, and one quick thing before we dive in, I've got something super exciting coming for Black Friday, and I can't say much yet, but it is going to be huge, and it's designed to help you finally get your budget working for you before the end of the year. So stay tuned, because I'll be dropping little hints throughout today's episode. Now let's start with the first number, your income. Seems simple, right? Duh. But here's the truth. Most people think they know their income, but they actually don't. They know their salary or their hourly rate, but not what they actually take home. And those are 2 completely different things, unfortunately, right? So when I ask women in coaching, how much do you make a month? They will usually tell me their gross income. And then we look at their paycheck, and between taxes, insurance, retirement, whatever other deductions, right? That number is actually way smaller. So the first step is you have to get clear on your net income. This is the number that actually goes into your bank account. So if you have salary, you can look at your direct deposits. If you're hourly, you can look at the average of your last few paychecks. And if you're self employed, look at your average take home pay after expenses and taxes. Now, I want you to write that number down, and this is your real income. So when you want to break down where the income is coming from. So if you just have one job and you don't do any side hustles or like affiliate links or anything like that, it's not really that hard. You just write down the one number and move on. But if you got side hustles, if you got affiliate links or cashback, or you do like survey websites and things like that, you need to know where all of your money is coming from. So, for example, your main job might bring in $3,200 a month. Maybe you have a side hustle that brings in another $300, and maybe you get like $50 a month from cashback or affiliate links, right? Knowing these sources of income, it helps you see opportunities to grow or to make changes. So, for example, if your side hustle is taking you, let's say, 10 hours a week, but only bringing in $100, that's $10 an hour. So you have to ask yourself, is that worth your time right now? Maybe, yes. Maybe it totally is. Maybe you're building it into a business and you understand that it takes time to see income from it, right? Or maybe no. Maybe it's just something random you do on the side and you determine that that's not worth your time, right? So this number is important to know, and it's important to know if you think it's worth your time or if it could be better spent doing something else or focusing on a different side hustle that brings in more money, right? So, if you're someone who's trying to get serious about saving your money or maybe even investing, this is where I always tell clients to make sure their savings are actually working for them. So, you've heard me talk about SoFi before, and I'll say it again because it really is that good. It's the high yield savings account that I personally use, and right now it's earning 3.6 APY. Now, that is compared to the 0.2 to 0.4% most traditional banks are offering. That's literally 10 to 15 times more interest just by switching banks without having to do anything extra on top of that. So, if you've been thinking about opening a high yield savings account, this is your reminder to do it. It takes like 10 minutes, it's super easy. You can use the link in my show notes to sign up. And if you use that affiliate link, you'll get a cash bonus just for using it. This is the easiest win you'll ever get for your money, so make sure you put that on your to do list for this week. Okay, let's move on to the second number, which is your expenses. And this is where most of us start to feel that kind of that resistance, right? Because tracking expenses feels hard, it feels boring, it feels tedious, it feels stupid, or maybe you've tried it before and it just doesn't stick, right? So here's the thing. As a new budgeter, you need to be looking at your expenses and you need to have an idea of where your money is going because your expenses tell the story of your life right now. So they reveal your priorities, your habits, and your emotional patterns around money. So when I first started budgeting, I skipped expense tracking. I never did it. I thought, well, I kind of know what I spent. But then when I actually pulled up my transactions and categorized them, I was freaking shocked. I did a 1 month expense audit and oh my gosh, right? Those $7 coffees, those random $18 Amazon buys, they added up to hundreds of dollars every month and I had no freaking clue. So here's what I want you to do. You need to pull up your last 30 days of spending, and then I want you to categorize it into essentials, non-essentials, and like gray area spending. So essentials are things like rent, groceries, utilities, transportation. Non-essentials are the fun stuff: dining out, Amazon, random subscriptions. And gray area is stuff that you technically need, but you could reduce it, like groceries that maybe you could kind of plan your meals out a little bit better, or recurring payments that you could downgrade or cancel. Now, when you do this, it's really important to not judge yourself. You just have to notice it and document it because awareness is what is going to be the key and it's going to give you the power that you need to then work through this. So, if this part feels super overwhelming, If it feels like that's just not obtainable, you can't do it, you can't even, you're frozen and you're like, I can't even think about how to even do that, right? And that's exactly why I created the Budgeting Basics bundle. This walks you step by step through setting up your budget, tracking your expenses, doing that 1 month expense audit, and actually making your budget work for your lifestyle. The templates are plug and play, the system is realistic, and it's designed for busy women like you who do not have the time to spend hours in spreadsheets. So, if you've been meaning to finally figure out where your money is going, the link to the Budgeting Basics bundle is in the show notes. And a little hint for you, if you've been following me for a while, you might want to grab it soon before Black Friday. And that's all I'll say for now. So let's talk about that third number. This is your true cash flow. This is the most overlooked number, but it's the one that is honestly really important because your income and your expenses don't tell the whole story. So, your cash flow is what's left after your bills, your savings, your debt payments, and your spending are done. So, this is what's actually available to move around, to save more, or to invest. So, let's do a quick example. If you bring in, let's say $3,500 a month, then you have expenses, your bills, your groceries, your gas, etc. That's about, let's say, $2,700. That means your cash flow is $800. So that $800 is what gives you a lot of flexibility. It allows you to pay extra towards your debt, save for a trip, or invest. And then when that number is negative, this tells you where you need to start making changes. So here's the key here. Your cash flow is not just a number, this is your habit. Because most people don't feel broke because they don't make enough. They feel broke because they don't actually have a plan for the money that they do have. So when you start tracking your cash flow weekly, not monthly, you're going to stay ahead. You're going to start to see patterns. You're going to start planning for things like birthdays, car maintenance, and you're going to stop getting surprised by your bank balance. So, this is where budgeting becomes freeing instead of restrictive because we're not all like gung ho about cutting things out. We're deciding what matters most to us. And that's where that control and that power comes back into play with our money. Okay, I just have to say this because it ties in perfectly. So, if you're someone who's been thinking, I just need a fresh start with my money, Black Friday is the best time to do it. I have something super special planned this year that is going to help you completely reset your budget and get organized before the new year. And if you've been wanting coaching or accountability, this is going to be your chance. Now, I can't spill all the details yet, but I will say this. This is something that I've never offered before and is the perfect combo of strategy and support, and this will be very limited. So make sure you keep your eyes open for next week's episode, and if you are on my email list, you're going to be the first to know. So make sure that you sign up by grabbing one of my freebies. So let's recap. We're going to put all of this together. Step 1, you need to know your income. What is actually hitting your account every month? Step 2, you need to know your expenses. What's actually leaving your account? Step 3, you need to know your cash flow. So, what's left and what is that money doing for you? When you know these three numbers, you stop guessing. You stop hoping that things will even out next month and you start leading your money instead of reacting to it. So, here is your weekend homework. So, write down your net income, track your last 30 days of expenses, and then calculate what is left after that. If you want the spreadsheet for the 1 month expense audit, you can grab that as a freebie. And if you want the entire bundle, you can grab the Budgeting Basics bundle. Make sure you use code HMM podcast for 15% off. Then, once you do all of this, I want you to ask yourself, am I happy with where that leftover money is going? If not, now is the time to shift. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. You just need to know where your numbers are. And then you just make one better decision each week, right? All right, friend. This is your reminder that money confidence is not strictly about perfection because, what do I always say? That doesn't exist, right? It's about awareness. And if this episode hit home for you, please do me a favor. Take 30 seconds to leave a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. This helps me so much in getting this message out to more women who need it. And if you are ready to actually start getting organized with your money, grab the Budgeting Basics bundle using the link in the show notes or in the bio of any of my socials. This is your step by step guide to building a budget that works, not one that leaves you feeling super restricted. You can also check out SoFi while you're there. Seriously, your future self will thank you for having a high yield savings account. This is a financial must have. And if you thinking about joining one of my coaching programs, keep your eyes peeled because Black Friday is going to be big this year, you guys. And if you have been waiting for the right time to get help with your money, this is it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Go figure out your three numbers, your income, your expenses, and your cash flow, and let's take back your power. You've got this. I hope you guys have the best week, and I will see you on Friday for Friday's episode.